I guess I should explain what happened rather than just speaking ambiguously and vaguely without being specific, because specifics are more closer to the truth. So I went on a business trip. Well, let me back up. Um, uh, Grant and I have a natural affinity for and with each other. It makes things complicated, however, because of the distance, and adds a great deal of complexity into the nature of things, and has been a barrier to being able to just have a normal relationship. There are a couple other things that have added complexity, but I'm going to stick to this subject. And we had been back in communication for several months, pretty much all of last year, minus a couple weeks. Being very intimate with each other and very real. After a while, it sort of, kind of bothered me that he was still maintaining a friendship with his ex-wife at the same time as doing stuff with me and communicating with me, and we're talking about further plans of like how to restart and like try to make it real, and that sort of thing. So I started to around about December time, I started to kind of request like I'd really appreciate it if you could just let her know that I'm in the picture, that we are talking and that we're, a thing, basically, that I'm not a secret. Because you're, maintaining this friendship with her and going to see her and stuff like that. And, I'm not even allowed to, she has me blocked and yada yada, and I'm not allowed to talk to her. And it's just this weird, really weird thing, and because of the weirdness, it really is hard for me to just blindly trust, like, okay, cool, there's nothing going on there. I try to, take your word for it, and so on. But when it comes to, problems with me, with like keeping me a secret and stuff like that from her, and then just generally it makes me feel kind of weird, like like, am I just the side chick, or like your internet whore or something like that? Like, I don't want that. I'm not that kind of girl. I'm not an OnlyFans girl. Anyway, so there was that, and then in January, things were getting very flirty between us, and I was like, well, this is frustrating. I want to make this real. Let's do this. Like, can we actually discuss this and work out a plan, and so on? And I had a rough idea of some ideas on things, but the minute I started to say, like, well, can we have a talk about that? Just discuss some things. It was like this taboo subject, and he got very upset with me. And so you know, like not even really willing to discuss it actually, but then at the same time telling me how much he wants me and yada yada, and I want him, and blah blah blah, and back and forth and so on, which is all very nice and cute and sweet and stuff, but it's like, well, let's walk the walk, you know. So I went on a business trip last week, and you know, I was like telling him like, oh, here's my flight info, you know, made a joke, haha, in case the plane falls out of the sky, you know, because there have been kind of some plane crashes recently, but you know, and then I thought, well, how come we don't do the location sharing thing anymore? Like, you know, what's up with that? Like, why? You know, if you want me to trust you, because like he helped me over Christmas with some financial assistance because I was jobless and looking for another job. I have another job now, but just before the year end, he helped me out and said he wanted me to trust him, and you know, see, you can trust me and so on and all that sort of stuff. Well, why should it be a problem then for us to share locations? Like, it's okay, cool, we can trust each other, yeah, okay, good. So then so I brought that up over when I was in Houston, and I was just like, well, you know, what about that? And then it occurred to me to ask, you know, who else are you sharing locations with? And he lied. He said, oh, I don't know. I said, yes, you do. Yes, you do. So who are you sharing locations with? And he started to say another friend and so on the iPhone find my friend thing. And I was like, so who else are you sharing your location with? Oh, with her, my ex-wife, on the Life 360 app. And I was like, okay, why? And he said, oh, it's just, you know, it's easier for what? Like, but why? He said that he likes to get notified if she's gonna, if she comes to his place. And I said, well, does she come to your place? Like what? He said that she went there once when he bought the place, and he was showing it to her, and then once when he had a hospital visit, and she picked him up and dropped him off. But he said otherwise no, that she doesn't go there. And I went, okay, well, you know, I don't think that you guys should be sharing locations. Like, at the very least, like, she doesn't need to see your location. Like, I want you to not share that. Like, that makes me very uncomfortable, you know? And why do you need to track her location or see where she is? Very uncomfortable, you know, like with, you know, in light of everything. And you want me to believe that you feel the way that you do about me, and that there's a chance that you're going to come over here in the next several months, and we're going to, you know, make our dreams come true and all of that stuff, when you're sharing physical locations with you and your ex-wife. That just doesn't sit right with me and makes me very uncomfortable. And then he said, no, I'm not gonna do that. And I said, why? And that's when he got really upset, and he just went into this whole generalization of how I'm just nagging him and so on, and I'm just messing things up because I'm just he started going off at me. And then I got upset. And then I got really upset. I said, no, I really don't like being dismissed like this. I'm trying to talk to you about it, and you're getting upset with me about it. And, I don't have a right to say anything about it, and I just need to be quiet. And, it doesn't matter. And you're more loyal to her than loyal to me, and you care more about what she wants and with this and what she thinks. It doesn't really build a lot of trust, So he got very, very upset with me, and didn't want to talk about it. So I said, okay, well, let's talk on the weekend then and have a civil discussion about it, okay? I kept getting cut off, and I yelled because I couldn't get a word in. I was just getting insulted, dismissed, invalidated, my feelings rejected about it. Couldn't get a word in, and so I said, okay, let's have a sane civil discussion about it on the weekend. Let's talk then. You gonna talk to me? And he said, yeah. The weekend has passed for him, and he hasn't contacted me. I'm not gonna chase. I'm not gonna, why aren't you contacting me? Because he doesn't want to talk about it. Why doesn't he want to talk about it? So what else is not being said? What else is there? I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I'm not even there. But where there are secrets like that, it doesn't lead me to believe that there's nothing else to be said about it. So it's just very disappointing and very hurtful, and I'm going to continue to work on transforming myself and my life and my body, my fitness, and build an empire for myself and my kids. And I'd love to find a husband again one day. I'd love to have that special something and grow old together and, be each other's one and only, and not have anyone come in the way of what we have.